Let's jump right into this explainer, because today we're tearing down a massive, massive misconception about personal finance. It's this idea that the only way to get ahead is to earn a giant salary. Well, spoiler alert, it's not. True wealth, it isn't built just by your income. It's built by your habits. So let's dive into the single money habit that literally changes everything. Okay, so tell me if this sounds familiar. Have you ever wondered why some people just always seem financially stable, even if they don't exactly earn the most? We all know someone like this, right? Maybe they have a super average, middle-of-the-road income, but they never seem panicked about money. A surprise bill pops up and they handle the emergency without even breaking a sweat. So how are they pulling this off? Well, it's kind of like a magic trick, but it's entirely because of the behaviors they practice day in and day out. They aren't relying on a giant paycheck to bail them out. They're relying on rock-solid financial habits. And this brings us to what I like to call the income illusion. Picture this. On one hand, you got someone with a pretty modest salary, but they consistently save and invest, right? Now, on the other hand, you have someone earning double, maybe even triple that salary, but they spend absolutely every cent that comes in. So who's actually building an empire here? Well, the steady saver wins every single time. They're building wealth brick by brick. But the high earner, despite all that cash flowing in, they're essentially broke at the end of every month. A person earning a modest salary who actually saves and invests will easily outperform someone earning twice as much who lacks financial discipline. Seriously, it's not about what you make, it is all about what you keep. So, the absolutely crucial point to remember here is this. Discipline comes before wealth, not after it. You know, statistics show that a shockingly high number of six-figure earners actually live paycheck to paycheck. Literally. Why? Because they fell into a really dangerous trap. They tell themselves, oh, I'll start saving when I get that big promotion, or I'll invest once I'm making more money. Look, waiting until you earn more before you start saving is a total illusion. If you don't have the discipline to save when you have a little bit, you absolutely will not have the discipline to save when you have a lot. The habit just has to be built first. The wealth, that's just the inevitable result of the habit. Right, so how do we actually put that discipline into practice, mathematically? Well, it all comes down to the absolute golden rule of wealth building. Pay yourself first. It's all about carving a solid 20% slice right out of your income pie specifically for savings and investments. Here's the deal. Before you pay a single external bill, before you buy groceries, and definitely before you buy anything you just want, you need to set aside at least 10 to 20% of your income. The very second that paycheck hits your account, boom, that slice is immediately captured and put to work for your future. And then the remaining 80%, that's what you use to actually run your everyday life. Let's really pin down what paying yourself first actually means, because honestly, the psychology behind it is the whole reason it works. It means treating your personal savings and investments as a mandatory, non-negotiable bill that gets paid before all other expenses. I mean, think about how you treat your rent or your mortgage or your Wi-Fi bill. You don't sit there and ask yourself if you're going to pay the electric bill this month, right? You definitely don't wait to see if you have money left over at the end of the month to pay it. You just pay it because it's non-negotiable. You have to treat your own financial future with that exact same level of urgency and respect. Your savings account is literally the most important creditor you have. You owe it to yourself to pay this bill first. Okay, now you've got to protect that money. A lot of the time, we completely obsess over the big purchases, like a new laptop, a fancy car, a huge vacation. But the real danger, it lies in the silent leaks. It almost always starts with small daily purchases. You know the ones, that fancy iced coffee, a quick lunch out with coworkers, a few of those little online subscriptions. Because they seem completely harmless in the moment. You don't even bother tracking them. But mathematically speaking, if you ignore them, they act like a silent leak in your financial boat. Over the course of 365 days, those tiny untracked drips will easily sink you, bleeding out thousands of dollars of lost wealth over a single year. It's crazy when you add it up. So, to plug up those leaks and actually start building real wealth, we need a rapid-fire defense strategy. Ready? First, budget wisely. You absolutely need to know exactly what is coming in and what is going out. Second, avoid unnecessary debt like the plague. Debt is basically anti-wealth. It's paying someone else for the privilege of spending your own future income today. Makes no sense, right? And third, invest in your future. Remember that 10 to 20% we were just talking about? Do not just let it sit there gathering dust. Invest it so it actually grows. If you execute this framework consistently, I promise you, your financial trajectory is going to completely change. Money is a great servant, but a terrible master. Just let that sit with you for a second. Think about what that actually means for your daily life. If you have discipline, if you're paying yourself first, tracking your spending, and investing, well, you're the master. Money is serving you. It's out there working around the clock in your investment accounts to buy your freedom and build your security. But if you let your spending control you, if you're constantly chasing the next paycheck just to pay off yesterday's unnecessary debt, then money is your master. And it is a terrible, unforgiving master that'll keep you stressed out and entirely trapped. And that brings us to one final thought. Every single unit of your income should have a purpose. Money slipping through the cracks on untracked daily expenses, that is money without a purpose. So, what is yours going to be? Is your income's purpose just to buy fleeting wants that you're going to forget about by tomorrow? Or is its real purpose to build long-term stability, wealth, and freedom? It's incredibly empowering to realize that the choice is entirely in your hands, dictated by your daily habits, not just the size of your salary. So take the lessons from this explainer, go set up that non-negotiable savings bill today, and give your money the right purpose. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll catch you.